Good day, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Assistant Professor Dr. Parichart. I work at the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies, Khon University, Nong Khai campus. I would like to express my gratitude to the International Conference on Teaching, Education and Learning for inviting me as a keynote speaker. Today's topic is Language Teaching and Learning in the New Normal in Thailand. Before I start my talk, I would like to give you some information on the COVID-19 situation in Thailand. Thailand began with the identification of the first case in the country on January 13, 2020, and has been ongoing since then. Since the pandemic arises on March 17, 2020, Thailand announced a 2-week closure of all educational institutions until at least March 31st and so on. The Thai government has ordered the closure of all local and international schools and universities in Thailand from Wednesday, March 18, 2020 to help control the spread of COVID-19 during the severe coronavirus outbreak. More distance teaching was being used instead of the normal classroom in order to prevent infections. This crisis made the institutions, which were earlier reluctant to change to accept modern technology. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused a rapid classroom to online teaching paradigm shift, which requires the integration of technology into teaching. This change was hurried and forced by circumstances, so this emergency online education are lack of cautious design and development process. These have raised many challenges for both instructors and students. Here are a summary of the difficulty in delivering emergency online learning. Those difficulties are technology, socio-economic factor, digital competence, assessment and supervision, heavy workload, self-regulation, compatibility, interactivity, and teaching style. Everything must have a beginning to effectively manage this shift. Teachers must develop their own ICT literacy in order to conduct their classroom through online platforms. Thai instructors have to comply with the learning management system provided by their universities. They needed to extensively study how to use various online platforms, for example, Google Meet, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams, to facilitate their online teaching. It's important to note that each LMS platform carries different teaching and learning advantages and limitations of which instructors need to be aware when delivering online lessons. So, we need to develop and improve our instructional management. A variety of workshops, for instance, online learning, online learning tools, and online testing, have been created and provided in order to help us to make use of them effectively. Meanwhile, learners are also required to be ready for online learning. During COVID-19 situation, learning management systems is essential in operating e-learning. Instructors tend to use Google Classroom and Moodle. Zoom and Google Meet are often used for online teaching. Instructors often use Line, Facebook, and email for classroom communication. Moreover, Google Form, Kahoot, Edpuzzle, Padlet, Canva, Zoom are employed to create active teaching and learning activities in class. Studies and experience have helped us learn more about the online instruction in transmitting COVID-19. Some Thai researchers attempt to investigate issues of factors affecting online instructional management. For example, factors affecting online instructional management, perspectives of teachers and students towards online learning, learners' readiness for online learning, readiness factors and barriers in blended learning classroom, and the effectiveness of online learning tools. Watanakasiwit et al. 2021 investigated challenges of student-centered learning in Thai higher education during the COVID-19 pandemic. The results revealed that most instructors feel that student self-regulation and self-discipline, socio-academic factor, and limited interactivity are obstacles to students' online learning. They also were concerned about how to access students online and how to avoid cheating and plagiarism. So, these issues should be taken into consideration for developing and improving the quality of instructional management. As a matter of fact, there are various types of teaching or learning evaluation. A single assessment model cannot address all learning objectives. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all evaluation method. In terms of language teaching or learning evaluation, selecting an assessment method for assessing listening, speaking, reading, and writing skill must be done in accordance with the learning objectives. Nowadays, all schools reopen nationwide after 2 tumultuous years of living with the pandemic. Students in all of the countries, 35,000 schools return to physical classes. This is the new normal Thai education system during post-COVID-19. Coronavirus is a turning point of teaching and learning in Thailand. COVID-19 causes education reform in Thailand. Many institutions are creating and launching online learning courses. A variety of interesting online courses are provided and launched for everyone. Lifelong learning and self-learning styles are common in our new normal lives in the digital age. Nowadays, the metaverse opens up new doors for monetizing institutional education. Before the pandemic, classes were delivered in person and in real time by a professor to a small group of students. The growth of platforms such as Microsoft Teams and Zoom has altered this. Metaverse is next chapter for the Internet. It enhances virtual education and learning. With these online platforms, lecturers can now teach in person to a live audience of students while also teaching an online class by Zoom. In terms of language acquisition, the use of technology in education has become necessary in the 21st century to strengthen the teaching and learning experience. Digital gamification is used in language teaching and learning activities. The goal of incorporating gamification into education is to create more appealing and effective learning experience for students. It is used to bridge the gap between what students learn and what they do in school. Moreover, gamification has become popular in online learning and educator professional development. In conclusion, education and technology are related in terms of language teaching and learning in the new normal. It is undeniable that technology provides students with easy to access information and explore new subjects. However, it is necessary to start from the principle of realism and generate strategies that do not rely only on a single technology, but on several to ensure that our teachers and students are taken into consideration, or which is equally or more critical, that technological solutions do not harm those who are already disadvantaged because no one should be left behind. Most importantly, according to education transformation, life skills, academic skills, and professional development should be taught and learned. Thank you for listening.